Hi, today I want to show how to use ViewContainerRef to render components dynamically. So in this step-list example, I have 3 radio buttons, all stat and abilities. So when all is selected, both Pokemon stat component and Pokemon abilities components will be rendered. When I click stat radio button, only Pokemon stat component will be rendered. And similarly, when I click ability radio button, only a Pokemon abilities component will be rendered. So let's see how it I use the ViewContainer_Ref class to do this task. So in this inline template, I have a ng container element. So this element is very important because this is the container of the dynamic components. So when I make the selection, the dynamic components will be added to this ng container component. So first, let me use ViewChild to get a reference to a ViewContainerRef. So ViewChild, the selector is VCR, which is the variable of this ng container element. So static is true. I want to read a view container VCR. And then in the radio button, I want to add event handling. So when the button is like, I want to determine the dynamic components to render. So when all is selected, I want to store the selected value in a selection variable. Selection is a string, and the value is determined by the enum value that I previously defined. So in this file, I have a Pokemon tab enum. It has 3 members, all statistic and abilities. So when all radio button is selected, the selection is all in uppercase. So when stat is selected, the selection is statistics. When abilities is selected, the selection is abilities. So yeah, let me do that for the other 2 radio buttons. After assigning the value to selection, I want to call a method to render dynamic component. And then implement the method in the component class. So let me console log the selection to make sure that it is assigned correctly. So that abilities. And then I want to cast the selection to Pokemon tab enum value, and then use that enum value as a key to find the corresponding components in component map. So let me pass selection to Pokemon tab enum value. Pokemon tab this dot selection is key of type of Pokemon tab. Oh, sorry, this is local cons. Okay, got it. Now I can use enum value to look up the component types in the component let's rename it the component type. So yeah, component type map. So when I click stat, yeah, I receive Pokemon stat component. When I click statistic, yeah, Pokemon's ability component. When I click, oh, I have both. Okay, after that, I'm ready to insert the dynamic components inside the ng container element. So let me use VCR clear to clear the previous components in the container, and then use VCR dot create component to, okay, sorry, I need to use a for loop to iterate components because this is an array. I use this .vcr create component to create a new component ref. I should, yeah. This is a new component ref. And the component ref is either a component ref of a Pokemon stat component or Pokemon ability component. So both components expect a Pokemon input. So I need to say new component ref dot instant dot Pokemon goes to this dot a Pokemon. And then I need to add a component refs array here to store the component ref. It is because I need to release the resources to avoid a memory leak. And yes. And I want to release the I want to release all instances of a component ref in ng on destroy. Therefore, I must implement on destroy lifecycle in this class. Implements all cons component type of component. Wait a second. Sorry, this is component. If all component ref dot destroy. Is it destroy? Is the internet sense okay? I think it's destroy. Yeah. Okay, and then I need to call change detection ref dot detect change method whenever I create component, create a new component ref using ViewContainerRef. I read it in other blog posts. Like the author always ask us to call detection change after using ViewContainerRef to create a new container ref. So let me use inject to inject change detection. In stop ATR dot detect changes. Yes. So if I click stat, I get a stat in here. If I click ability, I get abilities in here. Okay. So let me delete yeah, the components in inline template. Okay, now I find a problem. Initially render dynamic components is a call, so I need to implement on init lifecycle hook. It's okay. It's okay. So selection is yeah, that's called this dot dynamic. I want to restrict the type of selection. Right now is string, and it means that any string literal is allowed. I want to restrict it to accept either all statistics or abilities, and default to all. Okay, so ng on units is fire. So both components render dynamically. So if I click abilities, only only the abilities of the Pokemon on display. Statistic, okay. let me test the button clicks. I know they don't work. Let's try. Let me input a Pokemon ID in the number field. Okay, nothing happened in this dynamic component. It's because when Pokemon input is updated, I never call render dynamic components to update the Pokemon input. So when I change Pokemon input, both Pokemon stat component and Pokemon abilities component are not informed of the change and received the new input. But it's okay. I can implement changes lifecycle hook. Okay. So changes Pokemon current value should give me the Pokemon. Give me the latest Pokemon. So let's try. $25, yes. 3, 4, 6. Yes. So I should able to call render dynamic. But I need to pass the current Pokemon into this method. But render dynamic components expects 0 argument, which is not good. So what can I do? I can modify render dynamic component to accept an optional parameter. And then update a new container ref instant.pokemon. So if current Pokemon is defined, I use current Pokemon. If it's not defined, I use this Pokemon. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so let me type 25, which is Pikachu. So yeah, it's updated. Plus 2, I get another Pokemon, Senshu. -2 should give me back another Pikachu. -1. Okay. +1. Okay, Pikachu. Abilities. Okay. Only one component is dynamically rendered. Click stat. Both stat component is rendered. Click all. Okay, both components are displayed. So this is it. I finished the example. I'm able to use ViewContainerRef to dynamically add components into ng container element. In this example, I also have to implement 3 lifecycle hooks. On destroy lifecycle hook to release the memory of a component ref. Or you need a lifecycle hook to render both dynamic components initially, and on changes lifecycle hook to update the dynamic component when the input of a Pokemon tab component is updated. So this is it. If you like my content, you can share it to other Angular developers who are either learning RxJS, Angular, or both. So thank you, and bye.